Hey everybody, welcome to another Craft Blend review. I'm here with Daniel again, my co-host. And this time we're going to be talking about Love, Hate, and Clickbait by Liz Bowery. Neither of us bought the book, so we don't have it with us.
Yes, this is
But
a library one.
I got the audio book from the library as well. So anyways, but yeah, so that's what we're gonna review this time. We wanted to review it for the month of February, the love month. And we're gonna do a nice sweet romance. Danny, you want to give us a brief synopsis on the book, or do you want me to do it?
Sure. Okay. No, actually, let's have you do it this time.
Shit. No, you do it.
All right, I'll do it. So we meet our two main love interest protagonists, Tom and Clay. They both work at a presidential campaign.
Yeah.
Yes, political campaign. I don't know if she's gonna become president yet, but she's running for something. Um, but yes, so this presidential woman that they're campaigning for, Lenny, she's kind of a bit of a hot mess. So, how you call it? She says something about the gays. So to help control the media, behind the scenes, they have Tom and Clay fake date. So it's a fake dating trope, and then so the shenanigans happen. So that would be your like non-spoiler descriptor.
It's also a little bit of enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers as well. Yes.
Okay,
So
awesome.
we'll,
Go ahead.
yeah. So what do you give it?
Okay, so for me, I'm giving it a 3.
Me
Um,
too.
I thought it was cute. It was cute. It was a sweet story. There were some little iffy moments that were a little like, I don't know what's happening anymore. And yeah, I think yeah, to end that, I will say a 3.
3, yes. Do I recommend it? No. It's not horrendously to be recommended, like go out and get it and everything. There are way better books for the month of February. Now, granted, it is not a hot mess. It is not horribly written. It's not trash. That I will not give it. It's entertaining. It has some logic mishaps, but not really. And then if you really want it because of the spice, meaning the sex scenes or whatever, like, it is entertaining in the smut region of what it is. Even though it's not totally like smut category, but it kind of is because it's very descriptive in the sex scenes. But
Okay.
yeah, so if that's wiggles your bubble or whatever quote we want to use, then I would say go for it, but not really highly recommended.
And then they said, "Wiggles your bubble." What does that
Oh,
even
yeah.
mean?
uh,
um, okay, so I know you recommended this book. So how did you hear about it?
no, you were the one that recommended it.
Did I?
Yeah, you were like, "Hi, Daniel, this looks cute." Because we actually thought it was going to be completely opposite. We originally thought Love, Hate, and Clickbait and Presidential Campaign, we thought it was going to be like a leftist and a rightist that fall in love and stuff like. We thought a whole different plot, but that's not what we got at all. That they're both on the same presidential campaign. So we thought it was going to be more like fun.
I don't remember that, but okay. I mean, it's
Yeah.
possible. I have
Well,
very
granted,
forgetful.
it was like 8 months ago that we were like looking into future episodes because me and Heather planned like
If
that.
yeah, I guess if I saw it anywhere, it would have been maybe on Instagram because that's usually where I get a lot of my book recommendations, especially like romance ones. I get most of
Yeah,
them.
I would not have recommended.
I don't know. I don't remember recommending it, but okay.
Not to faulting
Um,
you or anything, because that sounded shady.
that did sound
But
shady.
yeah, it sounded a
I'm
little.
gonna,
But you know
I'm
what I
gonna,
meant.
I'll let that go. Anyways, all right. So, what did you think of the author's writing style?
It was okay. It was pretty decent. Nothing to write home about. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I could say. It's, at least she knows how to kind of plan well. it's coherent. I'll give it that. I told you I was going to be like lukewarm with this book. One thing maybe is the fantasy of it all is
Okay.
what doesn't 7,000% work for me. It felt like the best way I could kind of say it. It feels like a run of the mill CW show.
Right.
Not dissing that channel, but you know what I mean. But yeah, that's the best I could say about the writing. Like it's serviceable, but it's not trash. It's not like a hot mess. It's not syntactically wrong or any of that. But it's just it leaves some for the imagination. Like you want more.
Okay.
And there
Um,
there are plot lines that could have been better explored. But we'll get to that, I guess, later in our
yeah.
dislikes.
Okay. Um, yeah, for me, pretty much the same. So if I did recommend it, it's probably because I like what I view these kinds of books as like they're I kind of like in my head they're kind of called like candy books, where it's just like a book where you don't have a lot of there's not a lot of thought behind it. It's just kind of like, just a fluffy romance. It's candy, you're not really like learning anything. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not great for you, but it's not like um it's not anything out of this world. And it's usually like
Yeah.
a book that you would read just, like just because you wanted to read something cute.
I will say that as a positive. As a positive, I didn't want to like stop. I was never like angry that I was reading this and being like, oh my God, DNF. That is a positive. Even if it's like you said, the candy sweetness of it, I did want more, and there were times I was like, so I get it. I get it.
Yeah. There's a girl I've read before. Her name is I believe it's JC Lee, I want to say. But she writes like chick lit and stuff like that. So I've read two of her books. One's called A Sweet Mess and another one's Booked on a Feeling. And it's just the same kind of type of thing where it's like these two people that like have no business either being together or they've been friends for too long or anything like that, and then they just kind of get together and it's just cute. It's not, like I said, it's not anything amazing. It's just something for fun. So that's kind of like, I think if I remember correctly, that it would be because of those books, because I think I was on a kick reading those kind of things for like a little bit, because they were like, I liken it to like it's easy to read. Like you don't have to think too much, and it's just like quick, and you can listen to it while you're washing dishes or doing laundry or whatever. It's just not, you don't have to get super involved into the story. So that's kind of how I view these books and her writing style in general. It kind of reminds me of that. Um, one of the things I was gonna ask you specifically was because so we did talk about like the beginning of it, right? Like why they got together, which is because she said the governor said something um about like gay people, and it just
Yeah, she
was a
was like,
big
because her
thing.
hair was all messy.
Right,
And then she's like, this is for not having a gay person as my
right,
stylist on my team. So,
right. So
it could
speaking
be seen as problematic.
so speaking as like I wanted to ask this just for you specifically because you have, obviously you are a queer person, so you have your experiences in that. How did you feel about that specific scene? Like, did you think it was that big of a deal, or was it like, like, yeah, that's pretty like heinous for her to have said? Like, how did you feel about that?
No, to me, it wasn't that heinous at all. Like, it was like, granted, it's like an early 2000, late 90s joke, but
Right,
it's not like a harmful negative one because it's like a positive stereotypes,
right.
but it is like a microaggression. It's not like they don't have to like she doesn't have to like super worry, or I think, it
Okay.
just means she has a sense of humor.
Right. I guess I was thinking like if you heard your governor say that, like would you be offended? I guess is what I'm asking.
I don't know because it's such like it's like a mom joke or a dad joke. It's not highly offensive. It is a microaggression,
Right.
you know.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah, that
know.
makes
I
sense.
don't think I personally wouldn't be super duper mad.
Hmm.
Especially it depends on the connotation and the voice of it.
Right.
Like, if she was all like, "Oh my God, I need a gay in my team," like, okay, it's like hip. I guess.
I guess the reason I asked is because that is the tumultuous thing, right? Like this is the thing that sets us off. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
like,
so it's like
is
it's
it
not
really
that serious.
like was it really that? But obviously, like I said, I'm not like I don't have your experiences, so to me, it doesn't seem like a bad thing. But obviously, that's why I was asking you because I thought, well, I don't experience anything with it, so to me, it didn't seem like a big deal. And it's kind of like, I guess you could say, like you were saying, that it maybe like it's in regards to how she said it, maybe because like
Yeah.
I think that's I guess that when I thought about it, I don't know if I thought of the word microaggression, although now that you said it, I can understand why you would say that or why it would be. But I guess at the time I was just like, this just doesn't seem like it didn't feel like anything to prompt such a big thing to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's the fluff of the CW-ness of it.
right,
Like
right.
they need something like but I imagine in my head it's like hyper realistic hijinks. It's like they're especially that scene where they trip on the cake. Is
Yeah.
it the cake, and stuff like that?
Something
Like
like that,
I
yeah.
yeah, I imagine it with like a hit pop song. That's how I was picturing while reading it. Like in my head, that's how I was envisioning it.
Like you're
Like
trying to
like a
picture
TV
Hillary
show.
Duff playing one of the characters.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, C-list actors in like, how I met your, well, not how I met your mother, but like a CW.
Right. So moving on to then now the scene. I know that you were bothered by this scene in particular, right? Which is Tom and Clay in the original picture that they take of him like holding him against a wall. So share with us how you felt when you were reading that.
Well, because first I hated them because at first the characters are really obnoxious. Like especially Tom. Tom is a dick. So I was like, it's because I should preface this with enemies to lovers has to be done right for me to enjoy it. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm in team friends to lovers, slow burn, like ha ha ha. So enemies to lover, like people bickering, because my grandma always taught me no se juega de mano. Like so like people always fighting, and I'm very sensitive in real life sometimes, like, so if
Yeah.
somebody jokes around a little too much, I'll be like crying in a corner. So like a friends to lovers I just don't love and adore.
Right.
So to me, Tom, the way he's like, you're never going to be anything in life to Clay and everything, and holding him against the wall and almost like about to like hit him, and I'm like, this is an HR problem. Okay, like if somebody at work bangs me up against the wall, I am not gonna be like Clay. I'm gonna be like, bitch, you do not touch me.
But what if he's hot?
No, mama, no CW
Damn.
level of
Damn, what
hotness.
if he's just really hot though? What if he's like smoldering? You've been in love with him for ages. He
Maybe
holds
if
you up
it's
against the wall.
Pedro Pascal. Maybe if it's Pedro Pascal, but no, like I can't.
What if he was just really hot though? Oh no, I get what you're saying. In the opposite spectrum, I do love enemies to lovers, but you're right. It has to be done well. The problem with enemies to lovers, and I think I talked to you about this before, is that it always borders on abusive. And I'm like, that's not what
It's
enemies to
toxic.
lovers is supposed to
It could
be.
be toxic. Yeah, it
Like
could be toxic.
in a let's say like enemies to lovers, like okay, my go-to. Let's say Harry and Voldemort were like the
Mama, this
same
is the
age.
second
Listen,
episode. You
the
bring
same
Harry
age.
Potter
The
for
same
every
age, right?
genre. I
The
can't.
same age. I'm always gonna go back. The same age, right? They're the same age. So let's say they're the same age, and he just
Wait,
like,
Voldemort or you mean
yeah.
Draco?
Okay, we could do Draco. Fine, Draco and Harry. Like Draco
Because you're
and
like him
Harry.
and Voldemort are the same age. Mama, Voldemort is like a hundred
No,
and
no, no, no. I
something.
said if they were the same age. I
Oh,
meant
if they were. Oh,
But no, we
okay.
can actually use Draco and Malfoy. That's fine. So Draco and Malfoy, they hate each other, right? But there's also like there could be, if it's done right, there could be a little bit of like sexual tension, and it works. They're like, kind of hate you, but also like I want to, and so like that works, right? But like it does work in certain. Come on, you have to agree. It works in certain
I
contexts,
could
right?
understand it within Hermione and Draco, if
Daniel,
they
you
could
were a
like
youth once, and you know the fan fiction we read. You didn't tell me you didn't read a Malfoy Harry enemies to lovers.
I plead the fifth on that.
Exactly. Thank you. So it works in certain
Right.
contexts. The problem is that they can make it like too much. It can border on abusive. So like definitely in this case, I was a little like, this is a little bordering on abusive. My enemies to lovers that I like is sarcasm. Like if they're just like biting to each other and they're just kind of mean, but in a playful
challenge each other.
Exactly. They challenge each other. Maybe it's like, oh, you know, he wants to move up, she wants to move up too, or he wants to move up too. And they're just kind of like, you know, they're kind of biting at each other. I can do that better than you, that kind of stuff. But there's like tension.
Like a rivalry.
Right, that could be like a nice enemies to lovers that works. But in this case, and in not just hers, there's a bunch of enemies to lovers that are they border this, where it's like, what, like you're just saying some mean ass shit. And if I was being told like the type of stuff that Tom was telling Clay, I would have been like, this fucking piece of shit asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, but I get it. I guess in Clay's mind, he's like, damn, he's hot though. So it's like,
what if
oh
he's
God.
hot? That you forgive everything, right? He's just so good looking.
I can't. No, but like not to bring real life into it. I'm not gonna go into real life, but scenarios have happened where that you could say it's a hotter person who does treat me bad. And then I know within my own mind and heart, I wouldn't.
Right.
Just because I have self-respect.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, sometimes, you know, it's just a matter of like sometimes the enemies to lovers trope, the reason why it can be popular too is the fact that it's kind of like this person just dislikes everybody, but I'm like special to them. So that's kind of like where it can also be sweet, you know, like it's a nice thing that like they're just kind of cranky, but to you they're a little nicer. It's just again, yeah. It's just again, the problem is that Tom wasn't really like that. He was a big jerk for a lot of it.
Yes.
Now, mind you,
for the first
third, it was hilarious. I remember I texted you and I was like, I felt like Tom. I felt at the beginning, anyways. It changed towards the middle, but at the beginning, for sure, Tom felt a little more fleshed out than Clay. I didn't get a sense of who Clay was well into like a little
until the second half. Yeah.
Into the chapters. Where
no, and even like, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Tom, you're right that we get more on Tom. That is absolutely right. But I felt like we could have gotten more with Tom because Tom is, we don't know whether he's bi or like because even in the world where the presidential campaign leader or whatever, I mean the governor, she says something homophobic. So we understand there's dynamics in this world because that's another thing. Thomas breaks up with a woman at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which I found it jarring a bit at first because I thought she was going to make a cameo later on in the book. Like I thought it was going to be important because it's like he messed up a wedding at the beginning of the book and he broke up with this straight woman and then it's never acknowledged. He never questions himself like what he is and what he identifies as. So it gives it like a weird dissonance of like, he doesn't care. He's like a new age thinking, but the world doesn't match Tom's thinking. So it's like, there's no, Venn diagram of like him finding himself within that and within that own, there's a bit of it towards the end where he like, where I'm like, wait, how do I say this? Because it's a sexual thing. When he is more submissive towards Clay, and the toxic masculinity drops a bit,
right?
But at the same time, it's just, I feel like they weren't fully fleshed out. They had the inklings there, because we know that Tom is not close to his suburban family at all. So I wanted them to explore that because I've read other romances in where they do explore that, like Boyfriend Material or, Aristotle and Dante and all those type of books. They bring the family drama in it. They just kept it more close-knit to just Thomas and Clay. And I wanted those outside factors to be explored.
Yeah.
But it was the candy, like you said. It's
Yeah.
because there's like what, like 8 sex scenes. Because that's a thing that traps the book too. That the second half is mostly Clay's apartment.
Yeah. It
Well,
does.
yeah, it turns from a CW show to a stage production
Yeah. No,
of just like one place.
I agree. I think as well that it was kind of like yeah, like I was saying, like it's just candy. There's just no like, there's no, there's no substance to it, right? There's no like,
Yeah, but there's inches of it. So
right,
that's
right,
why it does why that's why it's not completely horrible. Because
right.
as you're reading, you're like, maybe this will come back, that ex-girlfriend, maybe we'll get to meet the parents. And we kind of do meet, we meet
Place
whose
game.
parents at the end?
Play.
Clay's parents. So there's inklings of that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if I would have forgave him with the fake, and I don't know how Clay could go with a fake wedding towards the end. I'm like,
Yeah, that part, like, well, there was a lot of stuff that just confused me about
yeah, the
a lot of their
logical, yeah.
decisions were just like, what? But I think the one of the things that like made me a little confused too was like, okay, maybe you picked it up more because you actually read it, because I just listened to the audiobook. I didn't really get Tom's issue with his family. Like it just seemed
They're
very
just,
superficial. It was very like
yes, it's
they just
there. It
don't
could
get
have been
me.
explored. It could have been explored. It's because he has an older brother, right?
Right.
It was
But
an
he's
older
got like a
brother.
family and kids, and like they don't get me. They don't understand me. They don't like, I don't know.
Yeah, because
I
they're
guess
like
because I mean
suburban proper.
I'm thinking to myself, what makes you like to be this extreme of a
Give
person,
us, yeah,
right?
give us that background.
Right. Like to be this extreme of a person that Tom is, I feel like there should be more reasoning behind it. It was just so simplified that I was a little like, this doesn't even explain why Tom is so like one mean, so like cutthroat. And then on top of that, like you know, just so like overly like, you know, dating and dropping them and stuff like that. It just like
Yeah.
it didn't really explain anything to me, and I felt a little like that, like you were saying, that it could have just been
And
out a little more.
Heather, it switches, it's dual protagonists,
Yeah,
right?
I believe it's
We
dual.
get
Yeah,
Clay,
you get
but
Tom,
look,
you get
look,
Clay.
like if everybody's like who's listening to us right now and us listening, we've only talked about Tom. So that goes to kind of show you that Clay maybe is even underdeveloped as well.
That's what I
So
was
it's like,
telling you. That like for me, Clay was just such a background character. Like he was just like, I get he was the love interest,
and
but he
he's
was
he
like,
not to be mean, not the actual gay one, because that's like a
yeah,
negative connotation. But he's the out gay one,
yes, exactly.
while Tom is finding himself or whatever.
Right. And then
Yeah,
like
so it's
it's like the thing where like, you know, you always read that book where like the man is saved by someone else. That's what it is. Like Clay is his like the person who saves him. And it's just like he's so like just he could have been more front, I guess. More of a he was just so like I don't know. I don't even know how to
did you
describe it.
find that did you find that a bit problematic though, with Tom's push on Clay's immaturity of what he finds immature, of like being like a gamer and being like nerdy and
Mhm.
all of that, and then when he buys him work clothes because he hates his fashion wardrobe. I
Mhm.
did like the twist of like the actual gay one is less fashion forward. At least they flipped that stereotype. So it was like the bisexual straighter one, Tom, is the fashion one, while Clay is like not, and he's more
Yeah.
nerdy. I did like that switch, but I did find it problematic that Tom was very dominant in kind of changing Clay, and then I don't know how I felt about that.
Hmm. Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I can understand what you're saying. I don't think it was to the point where it felt uncomfortable for me because Clay was still himself by the end of it.
yeah, and then there's a
He didn't
blow job
like the
within
only
that
thing
scene. So it's like,
like the only
when
thing
it starts to get real, it's like I'm gonna go down and down. It's like, oh, that's why it's mostly a smut book. Now that I come to think of it.
it's how would I put it? Like it's like I forgot what I was gonna say now. It left me. But anyways,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I know it's fine. I was I can't remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, so at the end of it, like Clay just kind of like, changes him, and like that's what I was gonna say, that it doesn't seem like he really does it much changing Clay, because he just changes his wardrobe. He's a like it fit for me because he is a control freak, it seems. So like it fit
Yeah.
for me that in a relationship he would be like, no, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I think that the good thing was that it didn't like she didn't make Clay like a total like, no, I'm gonna do like, I'm gonna listen to everything he says. He does have a little bit of like, enough of a, how do I put it, like enough of a separation. He doesn't become Tom, or become the version of Tom, that the version of Clay that Tom wants. So I think that kind of
Yeah.
saves it from that. But yeah, there is
Yeah.
instances
And
where
then Clay softens him as
exactly, yeah.
well. So
So
it's
there is
like,
a little bit of like they change each other, which is nice. I think it's good. The only thing is that like, yeah, it just felt a little, I don't know. It just felt a little superficial for me, the whole thing.
yeah,
But like I said, I didn't read this book specifically for like, to
something
learn
deep. I get
something
you.
or like gain insight. It was just, it's just a love story. So, you know, I do wish they were a little fleshed out better. And then there was like the whole thing with the governor and her son sabotaging her, and it was all just so background and like,
And that could have been explored more too. It's like all these upends of things that could be explored,
yeah.
could have been much, but they don't go there.
I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be mean to say. I guess I'm thinking in the hands of
Mama say it.
in the hands of someone else, this could have been like a political story, like a bit of a stance with like romance, and like it could have been deeper dived into. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
it was just so surface level that it was just like, oh, okay, it's just a cute
yeah,
romance.
like a Hallmark movie,
But I feel
Hallmark
like
level.
there were elements where it was like this could have been something
They
bigger.
could have been fleshed out exactly.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'm like, ooh, there's good ideas and threads here
Yeah.
that in a proper book. I hate it because it's like negative language, but forgive me.
Yeah.
But
Let's say a different genre. It's not really because it's the genre. It's a romance
it's the
novel. So
genre. It's the genre.
it's not gonna be this big amazing thing. In a different genre, this could have been a fun story. Like it could
Yeah.
have deep dived into like elections and the government and how things happen and all that stuff. So there again, for the romance, for what it was, the genre romance, just a cute story. It wasn't horrible because I did enjoy it myself. I actually like I read it, I got
Yeah.
it. Um the
I
the
finished it. Like I can DNF
exactly,
it.
the smut scenes were like they were often but not like gratuitous, they weren't just like awful and over the top. There wasn't like this like um how would you put it, there wasn't like this super focused lens on it. It was just, it came up often, but it wasn't like, gross, it wasn't uncomfortable. It was just like, whatever, he's there are two guys falling in love, and it
But
was
it is explicit though.
it is explicit, yeah.
It's not fade. Yeah, it's not fade to dark. It's not.
No, yeah, this is definitely adult romance. Like you get everything
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much like all we can really say about it. It was a sweet book. It was just candy. It was just a simple, sweet romance story. It was for Valentine's Day. It worked out perfectly fine. I would say also that like I wouldn't recommended. There are better books out there. It's not like you need to read it. But mind you, if you like smut, if you like candy books, then yeah, pick it up and listen to it while you're doing house chores, and you'll enjoy yourself and have a fun time. I listened to it on the ride to school too. Like it wasn't bad.
Uh,
The only funny part is listening to the sex scenes really loud while I'm driving, and the person next to me, like, what the hell is she listening to? I'm just there
I,
like he
I
took out
can't.
his he pulled off his pants and walked on. But yeah, so it was sweet. It had its moments. I didn't hate it. I thought it was cute.
Would you read a sequel?
No,
No, neither.
I don't
I'm
really
like
think
I'm
I
over
care
them.
enough about Clay and Tom to.
Yes, I wouldn't mind to see seeing it again in another medium. Like if it
Yeah,
were ever to
like a
become
movie,
a Hallmark
a
movie, yeah,
Netflix
like a
movie.
TV, like a TV movie, yeah,
No,
that
a
I wouldn't
Netflix
mind.
movie. How cute would it be on Netflix?
Exactly. Yes, but I would want them to fix it up more
Yeah,
and make it at least more, you know.
they could turn it into a good 2 hour movie, I think. Yeah, if they flesh
Yeah, they
it
could
out a little
totally do
bit,
that.
they
They
give
could
us more
totally do
reasons
that.
for why Tom
And
is
maybe
such
they'll
a
cast
funny
Hillary Duff like you wanted as Felicia, the
Felicia or whatever.
coworker.
Yeah, the friend or
The
Lenny. She
coworker, the
becomes
sus.
Lenny.
Oh my god, yeah, she's the actual Letty. And that makes sense because you know how she had the PSAs in the early 2000s of don't say gay. Saying gay is wrong.
There
Like,
you go.
don't, it'll be a cute callback. Oh
That'd
god.
be funny.
We'll write it, Heather. We'll
We're gonna
write
write the movie. Forget
Netflix,
it.
call us.
Call us and we'll write it for. We have it already. I even have a better background for Tom. Believe me. But yeah, I guess that's it for us. It was a cute book
Yeah,
romance. We read it for Valentine's Day.
cute and sweet.
Don't go into it expecting some, beautiful magnum opus. It's just a cute love story, but definitely check it out if you like that kind of stuff. And if you like smut, it has tons of it.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much again, guys, for joining us for another one. Next book we're gonna be reading is called,
Sci-fi.
what is it called?
Gideon the Ninth?
Oh, right, Gideon the Ninth. Yes, I heard about that on a Discord server that I am a part of, and I was excited to read it. So hopefully it is as good as I'm hoping it's gonna be.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully the next one will be exciting. Join us for that one, and thank you so much. Let us know in the comments if you read it, if you want to pick it up, if you hate this book, whatever you feel, let us know. And if you have any book recommendations, any books you want us to read and want us to talk about, let us know as well. So maybe we can start, maybe even books that we've already read, we can start talking about them and things like that. So just let us know in the comments if you have anything you want us to read. Bye, guys.
Yes, any romances. Bye, guys.